as he suggested, I just want to sensitize you a little bit. Maybe I'm not talking about politics. Maybe this is not the time to talk about politics or finding fault with anyone. But this is a scenario in which we are living. I think we have to understand. So to understand this topic, I just mention this incident or what is happening now. Now there's a huge power cut. The government said it's only 4 hours, but actually it is 8 hours almost. And what are we doing as a civil society? Do we resist? Or what kind of things we are adopting, or what kind of behavior, what kind of stand we are taking towards this? You tell me, the students. Resisting. I just go wait whatever things happen, I just take part, or I become a silent spectator of what is happening in the society. We are not bothering. It's called an apathy. There's a political apathy, social apathy, or a social numbness. This is the term they use, numbness, மறுப்பு. என்ன நடந்தாலும் அதை பற்றி நமக்கு ஒன்றும் தெரியாது, numbness. நம்மளை கிழுந்தாலும் தெரியாது அப்படின்னா என்ன சொல்லுவோம், numbness. There's a social numbness. So I think we cannot blame only politicians. I think we are having larger responsibility. I think we are not sure our resistance to government. And sometimes I am afraid to use this phrase here because it is very often taken or misunderstood by people. What is resistance? Because when you think of this resistance, we are always related to our freedom struggle. From the resistance to the present government. The resistance to the British government is, that government is a foreign government. That's a colonial government. Their purpose, their intention, and their rule was different. But the present government is our own make. And resistance to this government is different. First of all, we should understand this. For example, அதாவது பிரிட்டிஷ் ராஜ்யத்தை எதிர்த்து போராடிய போராட்டம் வேறு. ஏனால் பிரிட்டிஷ் அரசாங்கம் என்பது அது ஒரு காலனி அரசாங்கம், வெளியிலிருந்து வந்து நமது நாட்டை அடிமை கொண்டு ஆட்சி செய்த அரசாங்கம். ஆனால் இன்றைய அரசாங்கம், இப்பொழுது இங்கே இருக்கின்ற அரசாங்கம் நமது அரசாங்கம், நம்மளால் தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்ட அரசாங்கம். ஆக அன்று நாம் அந்த அரசாங்கத்திற்கு தெரிவித்த எதிர்ப்பு எப்படியோ அதே போன்று இன்று நமது அரசாங்கத்திற்கு தெரிவிப்பது சரியா சாத்தியமாகிறது சரியல்ல. இந்த அரசாங்கத்திற்கு நாம் தெரிவிக்கக்கூடிய எதிர்ப்பானது கொஞ்சம் மாற்றாக இருக்க வேண்டும். அது எப்படி இருக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை பற்றி நாம் தெரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். We cannot adopt the same old technique or we should not apply it to the present democracy. And the present government also should not treat people the way the colonial rulers treated their citizens. அதே மாதிரி அன்னைக்கு இருந்த அரசாங்கம், பிரிட்டிஷ் அரசாங்கம் அன்றைய மக்களை எவ்வாறு நடத்தியதோ அதே போன்று இன்றைய அரசாங்கம் அவர்கள் போன்று இப்பொழுது உள்ள மக்களை நடத்தக்கூடாது. அது வேறு, இது வேறு. அரசாங்கமும் பொறுப்போடு நடந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும், மக்களும் பொறுப்போடு நடந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். அதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். ஏன் இந்த வகையான போராட்டங்கள் இன்று இல்லை என்றால், we have a fear. Because when you go on a march, the government send their force. When we look at the policemen, we start looking at them as like an enemy or the suppressors. Because this tendency comes from the colonial mindedness. We are still having these colonial roots that affected our mind. So whenever we look at them, we look at them as an alien, and they will look at them as an opponent. The policemen are not our opponent. They are our own people. Our brothers are on that side. Okay? And they are our own people. And they are getting salary from our own fund. We contribute tax and they are getting salary. And the same tendency should also the policemen express. The policemen or the government, people in the government things, the agitators are their opponent, they are against their interest. No. The people are not against their interest. The people are raising their voice. Their people are raising their dissent. The people are raising their disagreement. It's not opposing the government, opposing the policies. But these tendencies are not there on either side. On the side of the government as well as on the side of the people. As a result, people are afraid to take up this protest, and government is very suppressive when there is a protest. So understanding about non-violent resistance is very important and very vital now. And clear-cut orientation or a good orientation on this topic is absolutely essential for us. Then only we can do our responsibility. Because Gandhi believed, now democracy, changing democracy through revolution is not the ultimate goal. He said, acquisition of power by people to resist government when they misuse power. When the government misuses power, people should resist them, and it becomes the duty of the people, he says. That is real democracy according to Gandhi. And not simply voting them, and it's not like that. And why this topic has been chosen now? I have given it in the introduction. Why? Now Professor Andiappan has mentioned about Arab Spring. What's happening in Egypt or Tunisia or Sudan or in some of the Central Asian countries and in some of the European countries, what's happening? Maybe in the Central Asia, that's called the Arab Spring. The Arab world is experiencing now a kind of resistance, a civil resistance. I'm using the word civil resistance. People raise against the government, and people want to have better democracy in this region. They are opposing their government. But most of these resistance are suppressed. And this now what is happening in Syria. Currently Syria is undergoing that kind of problem. The people are raising against Syrian government Assad, and they are using their military to suppress them. Every day it reports, I think 10 people, 20 people, 30 people are being killed in this process.